Well, you have likely heard a lot of conversation and concern about Illinois' new Safety Act.
The component getting the most attention, the move to a new cashless bail system starting January 1st. Now, the governor said it's designed to make sure people aren't locked up awaiting trial simply because they can't afford to post bond. DuPage County State's Attorney Bob Berlin is among the prosecutors and sheriffs who have expressed concern. Thanks for being with us.
My pleasure.
So let's start with the premise. Do you support cashless bail? And let's be frank, there's a big difference in bond amounts the defendant gets in DuPage than in Cook County.
Philosophically, I do support the idea of cashless bail as long as we have a very robust preventive detention statute so that we make sure the violent people who are a danger to the community are detained pending trial and the nonviolent persons get out.
Okay, so explain what that means as we move forward. The governor has talked about maybe making some changes, some adjustments to the law. What would you like to see change specifically? What
we would like to see is to have every offense detainable, just like they have in New Jersey. New Jersey eliminated cash bail in 2017. They give judges unbridled discretion in criminal cases to detain people who are a danger to the community. The Safety Act has entire categories of offenses where someone's danger to the community or a danger to others is not a factor. They can only be detained if they're a flight risk.
Okay, so that idea of having to prove in court that somebody is a flight risk or a danger to the community, how difficult will it be for prosecutors? How difficult will it be for judges to decide that?
The flight risk standard is very difficult to prove. We have to prove by clear and convincing evidence that someone is planning to intentionally evade prosecution by concealing themselves. That's a very difficult standard. Sure. Mm-hmm. It's a lot easier to prove that someone is a danger to the community, but there are certain offenses, such as aggravated DUIs, all drug offenses, where someone's danger to the community is not a factor. They cannot be detained if they are a danger to the community. They can only be detained if they're a willful flight risk.
So the governor's team has said there's no such thing as an undetainable crime, that it's a matter of interpretation. We want to play a comment that we got from the governor talking a little bit about his philosophy behind why cashless bail he thinks is important.
Here's the important thing. The Republicans are defending a system that is in place today that allows murderers and rapists and domestic abusers to buy their way out of jail. Just think about that. We're trying to reform it so that murderers and rapists and domestic abusers stay in jail.
We've got the backdrop of a political campaign here going on. The reality is you're saying you can get behind cashless bail. In fact, it's already been done in New Jersey. You just want a threshold where judges are kind of the ultimate decider in every case.
Judges are in the best position to make these decisions. They hear the evidence. They hear arguments from the prosecution, arguments from the defense. They're in the best position to make a decision on who should be detained.
Okay, so in the meantime, several states' attorneys have filed a lawsuit. Do you plan to do the same?
It's something that we have looked at, but right now, I think the best approach is to try and change it through the legislative process, and that's what we've been working on. We have shared language with the General Assembly. I firmly believe this law can be fixed. Mm-hmm. We're just asking for a New Jersey-style model, and it can happen before January 1st.
And the governor has said the legislature will likely make some tweaks in November before this part kicks in on January 1st. But as we've looked at this, I think one thing that causes a lot of confusion among people is they say, oh, look, now I hear the police superintendent every day talking about how there's a revolving door at the Cook County Courthouse and judges are letting defendants go free. There is a big difference in the bonds that are being offered. Cook County's already been kind of experimenting with kind of cashless bail.
Look, we have seen in DuPage County a number of defendants who are free on bail, many of which are coming out of Cook County, and they've come to DuPage and committed violent crimes, carjackings and armed robberies. We all want to avoid that. We need to have a system so that the people who are a danger to the community, who are violent, are detained pre-trial. Everyone has a right to be free on bail, but that right must be balanced against the right of the public to be safe.
All right, more to come. DuPage County State's Attorney Bob Berlin, thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.